Well, hello and welcome, everyone. Thank you so much for being here today. My name is Jordan Clark. I'm the founder of a local nonprofit organization called the Iron Sharp Community Foundation. And I'm delighted to be here with a wonderful panel of experts from our local Colorado community in partnership with the City of Centennial's Faith Council as we start a very important discussion today around teen mental health awareness. And so we're going to dive into some wonderful conversation together. But before we do, I'd love to go around and just have some introductions and know who you are and what organizations you represent before we get started.
Yes, I'm Marie Connor, and I'm the Director of Family Ministries at Summit Church here in Centennial.
Thank you.
I'm Mallory Marys. I'm the Deputy CEO at Shiloh House, a local nonprofit that serves youth and families in the community.
Fantastic.
And I'm Michael Croft. I'm a licensed psychologist, and I'm the executive director of Grace Counseling, which is a family counseling center located in Greenwood Village.
Wonderful. Well, it is a pleasure to meet all of you today, and it's such an honor to have such an incredible, vast experience here in the room with us as we start a very important conversation together around teen mental health awareness. And one of the things that we want to do before we talk a little bit about what are some things that we can all help look for in the community as it pertains to depression and mental health awareness, just taking a little bit of a step back, we know that this is an issue that is impacting our country tremendously, and even right here in Colorado. And according to some recent articles, we've seen that Colorado ranks last in the country with mental health rates. We've also seen that over a third of all of our teens around the country are experiencing anxiety disorders. And even furthermore, we have seen that over the last 10 years, depression rates have increased tremendously, with over 40% increasing in young boys and over 65% increasing in young women. How big of an issue is this really? How big of an issue is teen mental health in our community today?
Well, I would say it's a pretty huge issue. In the summer of 21, Colorado Children's Hospital actually issued a state of emergency for teen mental health. And so it really demonstrates how prevalent it is in our community. Teen mental health, if it goes unaddressed, can lead to a lot of different byproducts, whether that's addiction to various substances, it can lead to eating disorders, it can lead to self-harming behaviors, which potentially could lead to suicide, and it increases the criminogenic behavior. So breaking the law and not following not only not following the rules of their home, but not following the rules of the law. And so it can lead to a lot of different behaviors if it's not addressed appropriately.
When our mental health isn't well, what is the impact on our economy? What is the impact on school performance? Um, the ripple effect is large. It also leads to physical medical health issues. So this is by far from a one-dimensional issue. When mental health of our teens is deteriorating, it ripples throughout our society in multiple different ways, far beyond the most striking things we think about suicide rates and hospitalizations and psychiatric beds and things like that. So this is an issue that we all share, and all need to be invested in.
What's happening around the country? What's happening right here in Colorado that might be contributing to some of these factors here? So I'd love to open it up for some conversation.
Well, Jordan, I think our teens are stressed out, right? They're trying to perform, function at a high level, academically, athletically. You combine that with the social pressures they feel through social media and other factors. Our kids are struggling and they're trying to do their best, but I think they are experiencing a high level of stress and they're starting to break down more and they don't always know where to go for help. So I'm glad we're talking about this issue because raising awareness about their struggles is an important start.
Mhm. To add to that, I think that a lot of our teens really face isolation. Obviously, the pandemic really perseverated upon isolation, but I don't think it's gone away just because we're a bit back to normal. I think that even though we're more connected with social media now, I think our youth are comparing more than they ever have, which can really make them feel alone and isolate them. And that's where it's kind of a breeding ground for some of those depressive symptoms to start kind of rearing their head, as well as anxiety.
Mhm. I think another factor is that parents are really struggling as well. And they don't really know how to respond to what their kids are facing. And technology has grown in leaps and bounds from when these parents were kids. It's a total contrast, and I think that it's just a dynamic that is causing mental health issues all around.
Well, thank you all so much for sharing some of those insights. And our hope with this conversation is not only to just point out what the issues are and how they're impacting our communities today, but as we go into this conversation, our hope is to, one, identify what are some of the indicators that each and every one of us can help look for if someone or even a family member or a loved one might be experiencing either anxiety, depression, other mental health considerations, for us to know, one, how to identify that and where they can get the appropriate help and resources to. And then we'd love to transition the conversation into how can we all raise awareness? You all represent some wonderful organizations here in the community, and we'd love to identify ways that we can raise awareness together across all sectors on addressing this issue. And then lastly, that empowerment piece. How can each and every one of us help and play a role in this, in helping identify solutions, whether we represent a faith organization, a local nonprofit, or another organization that is reaching and serving individuals on a daily basis. And so that's our hope for the conversation today, and we're really honored to have all of you and your expertise contributing to this very important topic.